Welcome to today's episode of Profitable Impact. We're your hosts, Dr. Ashley and Dr. Michael Arn. We help experts and service-based entrepreneurs create predictable monthly recurring revenue on your terms. Today, we're going to talk through how to start building predictable recurring revenue without posting on socials endlessly or having a million followers. Yuck. Who wants to do that?
Who wants to build 1 million followers?
That's so much work.
I mean, who wants to be an influencer? Unless you're 24 years old.
Yeah, which we are not, sadly. So
Yeah, I'm not a hot 22-year-old man or woman.
You're hot in your 40s, babe, okay?
True.
So we're going to challenge the top 5 strategies out there about how you, quote unquote, should run your business. And you've probably already heard all of these. And then most importantly, we're going to tell you how to do business on your own terms and reject all of the noise out there that's trying to tell you what your business should look like. But before we jump in, I'd like to just take a moment of appreciation for lifeblood. And that is coffee. We take our coffee drinking.
Are you talking about the frothy black gold?
Yes, we take our coffee drinking very serious around here right now. Here, we can cheers. That's the clinking of our coffee cups.
Well, and not only is the coffee important, but the mug. You got to have a mug that you like. In fact, I don't just have one mug I like. I have 3.
I actually use just one mug, and I'm very committed to it.
That's crazy.
I know. And when it's not available, I'm mad.
That's true.
Like, I'm like, where did this go? So we're actually sitting here right now drinking espresso. We drink espresso. We don't actually drink coffee.
And that's changed over the years as we've gotten more elitism or elitist about our coffee.
Yeah. So right now we're drinking espresso as we look out at the snow. We just had our first snowfall the last few days, which is kind of wild. It's a little bit early. But there's just something about drinking a cup of coffee while you're looking out at the snow that makes it taste so much better. Like, you're inside, you're warm and you're cozy.
Yeah. You give me a good shot of espresso. It's got to be good beans. A little half and half. And sitting in a relaxing place. In Norway or Denmark, they call it hygge. It's like being cozy, being comfortable. I love that.
I do too. And we were just actually talking about how there are some people that can wait for their coffee. And I'm an espresso in bed type of person right when I wake up. So that actually just blows my mind. I can't imagine that some people actually get up, go in the shower, get ready for the day. And
like
then
maybe work out even? Or
Well, we did a little bit of that this morning before our coffee, but that would not be my choice.
Yeah.
I would prefer to just pad to the espresso machine, get an espresso, and get back in bed. That's how I like to start my day.
I would prefer to have like a robot deliver me coffee in bed. But, that's not possible for another 5 years.
That's very futuristic of you.
For me, coffee is special because growing up, it was what I did with my mom. Her and I would sit at what we called an ekbunk. It was like this table we had in our house, and we would have coffee. I mean, this started when I was probably, I don't know, high school or younger. And so some of my best memories of my mom are us drinking coffee and talking.
Well, that's an amazing memory. I wish I had a good one, but I have no excuse other than I'm not a morning person.
Well, some of our fun times fun times have been sitting, having a coffee, even traveling. When we travel, we're like, okay, where's our coffee spot? Or the last 5 years, we've literally taken our like a portable espresso machine with us to make in our place.
I don't like to take chances that what I need isn't going to be accessible to me first thing in the morning,
So let us know, what kind of coffee do you take? Do you have it right away? Do you have a mug that you like? In fact, if you have a mug that you like, take a photo. Show us the photo of your mug. That'd be cool. I'll post a photo of my 3 mugs.
I'll post a photo of my one.
But let us know, what kind of coffee or espresso do you take? Do you put half and half? Do you put what's the thing called? The pump thing, vanilla or
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Do you
Hmm.
put, do you do like a latte?
I think a
And
lot of people use flavored creamer.
yeah,
We
well,
don't.
we used to.
No,
We
yeah.
used to.
You did.
Oh, oh, this reminds me. One of my favorite things in life is eggnog creamer
Oh, yeah.
that I
Yeah.
use for about 3 weeks because there's no way I could have that every day. But I do love that. But yeah, tell us the coffee you like and the mug that you have.
In our Profitable Impact School community. If you haven't joined it yet, you definitely don't want to miss out. So let's jump into what we're really talking about today. And I think these are some things that you might have heard people say about how you should, and I say should, quote unquote, very carefully here, but how you should run your business. And I think there's a lot of things out there. There are a lot of people telling you how you should run your business, everything from hardcore hustle and grind to hardly work at all.
Yeah, you want to think about this because Ashley and I, one of our pillars of business and even life is we want to do business and life on our terms, right? We want to do it our way, win or lose, right? We want to do it our way. And what a lot of people do is they leave a 9 to 5 job or some corporate job and they kind of recreate the situations, the rules, the etiquette, the things that they were doing in the corporate world or in their 9 to 5. They just kind of do those similar things, but as a business owner, and they find themselves doing a bunch of things, working with a bunch of people that they don't really like. That's on someone else's terms.
So, really, the first thing that we're thinking about is this idea that you need to do everything yourself at first. And I kind of have a caveat here. I think it's mostly true that you need to do things yourself. I think a lot of people outsource things way too quickly, but the number of things that you need to do is far less than what most people think.
Yeah, there's most people think, oh my gosh, I got to have this website, this branding, I got to build authority, I got to, all these different things. I've got to get business cards. Maybe that was 5, 10 years ago, but still, people still get business cards.
Yeah, we've seen this with the business owners that we have helped build their businesses. We've seen them get hung up on this so many times over as a starting point. They say, well, I can't serve a client yet because I don't have a website. Or
Right,
I can't serve a client yet because I don't have this extensive branding package. Or
right.
I can't serve a client yet because I don't have a complicated marketing funnel that I could never execute on.
And some of this is perfectionism a little bit rearing its ugly head. Like, so some people, I've seen people where they're like fretting for 2, 3, 4 weeks on what to name their entity, their
Hmm.
business name, right?
Hmm.
Or things like that.
Hmm. But the reality of it is that in order to start building your business, you need to be able to do two very specific things. You need to be able to have a conversation with a potential client, and you need to make an offer to help them. Assuming this is the right person, of course. Don't just make an offer to everybody. But these are the two things that most people avoid because they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and these are the two places you want to get very skilled, right? If you want to build predictable monthly recurring revenue and do business on your terms, you want to get very skilled at having a conversation with a potential client and then making an offer to help them. Those are the two skills.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times that feels really, really hard. And if you've done any kind of sales training, then you think that there has to be about 4,000 steps to that. And there really doesn't. It can be as simple as sitting down with someone, having a conversation with them, and then making an offer to help. And sure, are you going to get better at that over time? Definitely. Does it get easier over time? Definitely. Do you become more articulate and better and stronger at talking about what you do and how you serve someone? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that you can't start doing that right now, even if it's not perfect, like Michael said.
And I've even seen this because we work mostly with experienced business owners. And even if you aren't starting a business, a lot of experienced business owners who are doing 10,000, 15,000, 30,000 a month, they're still doing a lot of things themselves, or things have gotten very complicated with, they have a million things, spinning plates. And even in that position, you probably don't need to do like 70% of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the second idea that's out there is that you have to have a massive amount of clients or followers to be profitable. And actually, we would say that less clients equals better service by you for your clients and better results for your clients.
Yeah. When most people think about a business, they think about a business that serves the masses. So they
Mm-hmm.
think about, well, we need thousands of clients, or even like a tech company is like millions of clients, right?
Yeah.
So they think about something that serves the masses. Our kind of business that is this predictable recurring monthly revenue where you can do business on your terms. It's a service-based business where you're really serving people at the highest levels. You don't need a lot of clients. You really don't.
No, you need two things again. What's with me in the two things, three things? I always have numbers of things. But it really means that number one, you need to charge the right amount of money for the service that you're providing. And number two, you need your clients to keep working with you.
So now notice one of this podcast, our group is called Profitable Impact. Those are the two things Ashley just said. You need to charge the right amount of money. So you got to have a business model and money model that is profitable, right? So for example, this is extreme, but if you were charging someone $5 to talk to you for an
That is
hour,
extreme.
that would not be a profitable business money model,
No,
right?
definitely not.
So number one, you got to have the charge the right amount of money for the right things that you're doing. And that's where the profit comes in. And number two is what Ashley said, clients need to keep working with you. That means you're impacting them in such a way that they see the value you bring to their life, that they're going to keep working with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They want to have your continued help and support. The third one is that you have to post on socials to grow your business. And a lot of people are posting many times a day, and they think that that's what they're supposed to do. They also think that their posts need to get a certain level of engagement. But how many people see your posts and how many people engage in your posts has actually nothing to do with how many people you are converting into your business. That's optics, right? In fact, and this is embarrassing to say, but I am literally the worst social media poster of all times. I'm very inconsistent. I go through streaks with it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to post every day. And then I'll post like 3 times a day for one day. And then I won't post anything again for a long period of time. Now, that's something that I'm working on because I do want to have a consistent social media presence. But also, I mean, we've owned our consulting business for almost 20 years, and I've never I've never been
Yeah.
consistent with it. So it's definitely not essential.
Look, we've built a consulting and coaching business to earn millions of dollars with very inconsistently posting on social media, right? That hasn't been the thing that drove that revenue.
No.
And the thing is,
Fortunately not for
what we
me.
see is a lot of times the posting, the creating of the content and the posting on social media is really a procrastination technique. It gets in the way of doing what Ashley said in the beginning, which is, what are the two things we need to do? We need to be able to have a conversation with a potential client. We need to be able to make an offer to help them. A lot of times, doing a lot of social media, creating a lot of content is simply avoidance of doing those two things.
It's way more comfortable and easy to create content behind a screen than it is to actually get in front of a client and have a conversation with them and make an offer
Yeah.
to help them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The next one is that scaling means doing more. I think that's a big thing that people hear about constantly. Oh, you have to do more to scale. And actually, scaling should mean doing less and primarily focusing your time, energy, effort, and financial resources on doing just a few of the right things that produce a higher return on your investment. So you're just doing a few things really well. You're not doing more things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. You actually you increase your value to your ideal clients. So as you scale, when you're doing it effectively and you're doing it in a way where you can create predictable monthly recurring revenue on your terms, you're scaling in a way where you're giving way more value to your ideal clients while doing less, right? Think of a person on the other end of your business. Most people don't want to be bombarded with messages and things to do and all these 1,001 courses to take and a 1,000-page book to read or PDF to read. All that stuff actually creates more work for your ideal clients. They have to spend more time. So honestly, when your business is running effectively, your ideal clients need to do the least amount of work possible to get the results that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you're giving them an immense amount of value in a very little amount of time, in a little amount of effort, right? So that doesn't mean you're doing all these things.
Totally. And the final one is really about psychology. It's about our inner world and what's happening. I think a lot of people think that in the early days of their business, they just have to hustle and grind. And alongside that comes massive self sacrifice of what makes us happy and self care and our routines and the things that keep us solid and grounded. And people will just say, just focus on tactics, just do the next thing. You know, psychology is fluff. But we have seen that if you're not a well oiled machine as a business owner, your business will eventually fail.
Yeah. Well, and doing business on your terms, your way, is all psychology. The only thing that'll get in the way of you doing business on your terms is your psychology. The little thoughts, the little things in your mind of like, well, I can't do things this way, or I saw Sarah did it this way, so I have to do it that way. And getting into survival brain and thinking you need to do things a certain way is what's going to take you away from enjoying your business, from making the money you want. And it's really important that you do business on your terms, because that is also, this is like, it's like a self-fulfilling circle of like, doing business your way helps your psychology, and your psychology helps doing business your way, right? Because ultimately, if you're doing business in someone else's way, it's really you're gonna be miserable. You're not gonna enjoy any success you have. The lifestyle you're creating personally is not gonna match what you want, and the business is gonna suffer from it, and so is your personal life.
Definitely. I think I think about it very similarly to the fact that people leave a 9 to 5 job a lot of times because they're unhappy with the way things are going, that they don't have any control over their time, that they don't have freedom and to do the things that they want and the things that bring them joy and fulfill them. And then they a lot of times leave a job like that only to build a business that's in the similar vein. Or you have people tell you that, they're committed to their job, even though they hate the 40 plus hours that they're spending there every week and it drains them as a person. I think you see a lot of people that make that decision and they're miserable. And we don't want to do that. I definitely felt in the early days of our business that we ascribed to those things. So for me, for whatever reason, I really don't like doing work calls and client facing things at night. I just don't. I'm not at my best at night, and it's kind of like working out at night. I've never been a person who likes to work out at night, and so it would be something that I would just not want to do all day long, and I would think about it all day long, and it would drain my energy. And I learned that that's not the best format for me. I don't want to be doing things at night, so I'm not going to. And when I set myself free from that, I was so much happier, and I was such a better, stronger leader because I was so much happier and more grounded and able to do things on my terms. And I think that really has a positive impact on the profitable impact that you're making.
Yeah. So a big part of doing business your way is just getting to understand your flow, your body's and mind, your psychology, your body. What's the flow of how you work best, how you live best? Obviously, for Ashley, it's no night calls, right?
None.
She doesn't do best with night calls.
Mm-mm.
So you want to set up your business in a way that honors and respects the way you work and live best.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm introverted. I don't want to be speaking on big stages constantly. I don't want to be traveling for work. I don't want to have a lot of drama. Like, I don't want to have a business with a million moving pieces. I like right now, I'm sitting in my living room. Ashley's here with me, my wife, who I love and adore. There's no strangers around me that I have to entertain. My two dogs are here. The fireplace is on. This is how I like to work, right? This works for me. So you really, and the thing is, you have to identify those things, but really the hard part is honoring and committing to those things when you doubt that you can do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of things that we will not do. Like, we're not, if someone approaches us and is like, tell me how you work, how would you even help me? Like, we're not even going to talk to that, but we're not going to enroll that person as a client because they're already approaching us in a sort of a non-coachable way. So we're not even going to put any energy towards that. Like, we're going to refuse to work with that person. Right. So there's a lot of things like that. Ashley doesn't do night calls. Ashley also doesn't really like to do video
I
calls.
hate it. But that's partially just because I do weird things with my face when I'm thinking. So I can't be thinking about what my face looks like if I'm trying to come up with good ideas.
Like, again, I'm introverted, so I'm not going to do networking events. And I've done this. You know, you go to some big conference or something, there's hundreds of people, and you're going to try to get, back in the day, you'd try to get people's phone numbers or try to contact business cards and then follow up with them. And like, that's not what I want to be doing to build my business. Mm-hmm. Right.
It requires a lot of emotional and social energy to be in a networking group, or, you know, to constantly have to talk to groups of people like that. That's definitely not the right fit for you.
Right. So
overall, we just want to empower you to know that one of the most important things about being successful in your business and in having a profitable impact and in creating recurring revenue is doing it on your terms. And so it can be really useful just to sit down and think to yourself about, how do I actually want to structure my day? What do I want to be doing? When are my peak times when I'm the most effective, the most strategic, the most creative? And you want to schedule your tasks around those things so that you are setting yourself up to be successful in the execution of those things. Mm-hmm. And each one of those activities or tasks requires a very different thought process. So you can't do them all at once, and they require a certain sort of mental energy. And so a big part of that is understanding, how do you as a leader of your business perform best and perform specific tasks best? When are the ideal timeframes for them? But that all starts with knowing and believing that you can run your business on your terms, that you don't have to follow any of these shoulds that we talked about today. They don't have to apply to your business.
And a big part of this is you want to be able to separate money from your terms. So a lot of times we'll get stuck doing things that aren't on our terms, things we don't like, things that aren't good for us, because we think that's the way you make that's the way you make money. That's the way you get cash flow. That's the way you get revenue. And instead, we want to completely separate money from the terms of our business, how we do business. Because honestly, there's many, many, many ways that you can do business. There's many terms that you can do business on and get money. You can speak on big stages. You can travel. You can stay at home by the fireplace. You can get on phone calls. You can get on video calls. You can do night calls. You can do morning calls. You can do no calls, right? You can meet people in person. You can do retreats. There's all sorts of ways that you can do business on your terms and make the money that you want for your business and your lifestyle. So we want to separate those two. I'm not going to decide my terms because I think that's what needs to happen to make the money, right? I'm going to set my terms, and making the money is a separate thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then really the solution to this is you want to decide and commit to a couple of things. Who do you work with and who do you not work with? So which clients do you work with? Who do you not work with? That's really important. When do you work? What time of day? Where do you work? Is it at home? Is it an office? Is it traveling? Is it on a stage? Is it, on a phone call? Is it on a video call? Is it in person at a retreat? Is it in Costa Rica? Whatever works for you. Where do you work mostly? And then what do you work on? Right? What do you work on? Ashley and I used to help people with dating and relationships. We built $1 million business plus helping people with dating and relationships. There came a point where we wanted to help people with other things as well, right? And so what we wanted to work on switched. It changed over time. We wanted to work on other things, right? So these are things you want to decide and commit to.
So we're going to go deeper into this inside the Profitable Impact School community this week. We are personally auditing our community members' current offers so we can show them exactly where they're leaving recurring revenue on the table and how to fix it. This is something that we only do inside of the community. So if that would be useful to you, come join us. That's it for this week on Profitable Impact. Remember, you can create predictable recurring revenue and do it your way. So next week, we're going to talk about how to have a profitable business without a massive amount of clients. Until then, come hang out with us in Profitable Impact School community, grab your exclusive offer audit, and definitely fill us in on how you take your coffee. And we want to see your favorite mug.